You're 31 and you spend all this money on all these games. What is wrong with you? I don't even know how much I paid for all of this. Totally worth it. Yeah, it was. It was. It was.
At least it's the only ones you've got.
I know! Bruh.
Jesus Christ. What have I done? I have no money.
I think it's time to recap all the games I've played this year and rank them. There are going to be some games on this list that had released a few years ago. I'm just letting you know that before I get those keyboard warriors telling me
some of these games came out ages ago.
I know. These are the ones I have played this year. Unemployed freak. So if you've just bought a PS5 or you're not sure what games to play, especially around the holiday season, trust me, there are going to be some bangers on this list. So let's run through these top 13 PS5 games that I have played in 2022 so far. Number 13. Resident Evil 2 Remake was so good when it got its PS5 upgrade. I think it's just amazing the progression from the original game that was released all the way back on PS1 in '98. It's a beautiful game with insane lighting, 3D audio. The controls can feel a little bit weird at times, especially when you're running at times and you're looking to turn very quickly. It can feel a little bit outdated. The jump scares are a joke, as you would expect from a Resident Evil game.
Jesus, you're everywhere.
And the puzzles can be extremely difficult, even with someone of my caliber of higher education. You can find yourself lost for hours looking for collectibles, looking for clues, looking for supplies, and looking for ammo. Let's talk about ammo. So I decided to start the game again because I ran out of ammo. I was literally being chased by that silver guy man thing. I literally ran out of complete ammo. Spend time using your knife when you can, especially with these slightly stupider zombies, shall I say. Spend time exploring because you're going to find tons of ammo. I probably missed a lot of ammo in some of these levels. Or if you can, just charge through some of these areas and don't even worry about trying to clear them. Number 12. It was so nice to sit down and play a game like Stray where you play as a cat. Blue 12 Studios crushed it with this game, exploring the most incredible cyberpunk world where you lose your little family. Damn, that scene still gets me. The story of the game was so strong, where you're in an enclosed dome separated from the outside world, which is surrounded by robots, and human life hasn't existed in a very long time. You meet some important robots in the game that will help you progress through the game, help you solve puzzles. I love the exploration. I love just going through alleyways, going through these amazing areas and just exploring as a cat. I know a lot of people didn't really like the fact that there was the X button that would come up and you just press X every time you jump on something. Didn't feel like you were in full control of the cat. You were like, oh, I can jump on this because the X button's popped up. I didn't mind it, but yes, it would have been nice that they gave us a little bit more difficulty so we had to figure out where we would jump to. It's on the PS Plus subscription service, so if you're not sure whether you want to buy this game, you don't have to. It's a short game and it will make you love cats. Oh, so coochie. Hey, get the hell out of it. Number 11. I absolutely loved the Gran Turismo series, especially as a kid when I would go around my uncle's house and all he would play was Gran Turismo alongside Tomb Raider. Oh yeah, those pixels. I do not usually play a lot of racing games anymore. The graphics are unbelievable, the driving, the sounds of the car. It is a masterpiece of a driving game. But rewind, I don't really play much of it anymore, and I'll tell you why in a bit. I love what they have done with the game with the cafe, and you get a guide to give you tasks to complete races on each menu, which will give you a history of the type of cars you are trying to win. I love the customization, the tune-ups, and for someone who doesn't know much about cars, it is easy to navigate and upgrade your cars. My favorite is the Nissan Skyline GTR, which I got in black, and wow, it is so easy to customize, but racing with this car, it makes me think of the Too Fast, Too Furious days. Now, the reason why I don't really play it anymore is because there are so many cars in the game, which is amazing, but they're too damn expensive. To afford some of these cars, it would take so long. The best cars in the game, I understand you need to grind for them, but this game pushes microtransactions to another level. They're in your face every time when it comes up and it's like, do you want to buy extra credits? No. I bought the game at full price. I'm not going to be paying extra to buy some of these cars that I can eventually race with. They basically put a little string in front of you like, listen, you can still afford it by if you do 1,000 races. Don't you want to make your life easier? So it's an amazing game in that front. I can't afford cars in real life, let alone in the game, which I can't afford because I want to escape reality. Number 10. Alan Wake Remastered was a game I'm so glad I played. I knew about it for a while. I saw Spawnwave rave about it quite a few months back and I thought, you know what? It's time to purchase another game. You are a famous author who takes a trip away with your wife in a secluded cabin in the woods, and your wife suddenly drowns and then out of nothing you wake up in a car accident. There are some beings that come out of the forest and you must use your flashlight and other weapons like your revolver, shotgun and flares to stay in the light as possible. There are some amazing twists in the game. It just keeps you guessing and guessing and wondering what the hell is going on. Is this in my head or is this real? For a very old game, the controls feel nice and smooth. The art style of the game I love, and it is an addictive game once you really get into the story.
On my way. Don't open the door.
What am I, crazy?
Stay hidden.
The dialogue, it all fits so well with each character. And with the sequel coming out next year, oh my gosh, you're gonna love this game. You're gonna love it. Number 9. Horizon Forbidden West. Do feel sorry for this game only because it's been overshadowed twice on its release dates. When Zero Dawn was released, you had Breath of the Wild that pretty much overshadowed the game. And with Forbidden West, it was so hyped, and yet it was released at a similar time as Elden Ring. Now, I feel like I didn't enjoy this game as much as I should have because I was playing Elden Ring, and I only went back to Forbidden West because I was like, I just want to complete the story and know what happened. So I didn't feel like I appreciated it enough. Graphically, absolutely breathtaking. There is tons to do in the game, but as open world as it is, I think I was told too much what to do at times, and instead of just exploring, I kept checking my map. Am I going in the right direction? I felt like it did spoon feed a little bit too much. It did become a little bit too repetitive, and when I completed it, I did think to myself, mate, I'm not even gonna bother doing any more side quests. I'm done with the game. I've completed it. I'm done. I don't care about New Game Plus. I'm done. I was a bit confused with weapons. What should I have equipped? What was the strongest approach for some of these amazing, massive machines? There are some incredible machines that you do fight against, and it is epic. The story is very strong, and I really like Aloy. She can be a bit annoying sometimes because she's, a strong, independent woman. Just accept the help when you need to. Don't cancel me for that. Please. I haven't got back to it ever since they released a New Game Plus with legendary weapons. I just don't feel the need to get back into it. If you love Horizon Zero Dawn, Forbidden West is a much more polished game. Number 8. Cyberpunk 2077. Probably one of the best gaming comebacks in history. Only if you focus on current gen and forget that the PS4 versions are probably still broken. This game has probably got even better since I played it earlier this year, as there are constant patches coming out for this game. I really loved the world of Night City, and the story was incredible. The combat was a lot of fun. V as a character was brilliant, and they made such memorable characters. It's just such a shame it was still overshadowed for me with some funny glitches, an upgrade weapon system that was overly complicated, and I had no idea what I was doing. But apart from that, I think it's still a good time to play this game. The fact you have dialogue choices, especially at the end where there's multiple endings. When I did finish it, I didn't feel the need to dive back into it, and even though there is a DLC coming next year, that's probably when I'll get back into the game. Number 7. Now, Gotham Knights. nice. I bet there's going to be that one person that's going to comment on this video and be like,
How can you like this game?
just like Throne of Lies.
If y'all listen to this guy, you are crazy. This game is just simple bad.
And it's totally fine to have different opinions on game, but Gotham Knights, I had such a blast with this game. Yes, it isn't like the Arkham games where it's focused more on being an adventure game, a single player story driven game. This is more of an RPG. Some people like it, some people don't. I took it for what it is. It could have been better if they went with that adventure style game. The different characters, especially Nightwing, I love the combat in the game. It didn't feel slow for me, and when you put some of these combos together, it is so satisfying.
Bring it on!
The customization is top notch with the different suits, and it made it personal to me. I started playing after a few patches and the game was running pretty well. Now the 30 FPS didn't affect me in any way. I didn't think, oh my god, this is so shit. Yes, you can see it. I didn't get any frame rate drops, maybe because they patched a few things in. If it went anything less than 30, I'll probably be like, what the hell? I like the RPG element of this game. The missions are fun. The story is strong. I can't believe already it's on such a discount because it's around Black Friday and the holiday season. Probably a game you're gonna want to buy now. I did do a full review on it, so if you want to check that out, then make sure you click the link at the top.
Number 6.
As much as Ubisoft piss me off most of the time, some of their games are amazing. Of course, I love the Assassin's Creed franchise. I love the older games more, but I also love some of the modern day RPG elements with Odyssey, and especially Assassin's Creed Origins. Assassin's Creed Origins is a beautiful game, especially with that 60 FPS update for the PS5. Being in Egypt, probably one of the best locations they could have gone to. The game has so much content that it will probably take a lifetime to complete. Like any Assassin's Creed story, you have the main protagonist, and his name is Bayek, which you grow to love, and who has also been through a hell of a lot with the death of his son. Level up, explore the massive map of Egypt, complete side quests, main missions, unlock viewpoints, caves, and you get to take your time with it. That's what I loved about the game. I just chose what to do. The combat I wasn't too keen on, only because you have to really lock onto an enemy to then fight that enemy, but then you have other enemies trying to hit you. It didn't flow as well as the past games. It just took time adjusting. The one thing I would say about this game is that you have to play this game alongside another game. It became too repetitive. I'm getting very, very fatigued playing this game. So I used to come away from it quite a bit. And when I felt like I wanted to dive back into it, I would dive back into it. It's free on the subscription service, so if you want to try it out, boom, it's on there for free. In number 5. Are you done?
Apologies.
In number 5. Seriously.
Well, tell them about Buy Me a Coffee.
Well, I was going to tell them about that, but a bit later in the video. Anyways, guys, if you want to help support the channel, then you can find me at Buy Me a Coffee, which you can become a follower or a subscriber, which I will post more about my daily life and you can get more personal to me. There are no tier systems because I don't know how to do that. Or if you can't be bothered, you can head below on this video and you can hit the super thanks, and that will help support this channel and help me make this my full-time job. In number 5, we have one of the most surprising indie games, and that game is SIFU, or should I say I have deep problems. SIFU is such an amazing kung fu experience, and it is such a fun game. The art style is simply amazing, and you know, before I created my top 10 indie games, I didn't really play a lot of indie games, and I was an idiot. The first scene reminds me of Ip Man. I know that is Wing Chun, but what I mean is I loved how those films made me feel, and all I wanted to do was be able to do the same. And with this game, you can take control. Yang is the character you control, and after the death of your father, you want revenge. But there is a massive twist. Each time you die, you get a little bit older, and this is what makes the game unique. If you die, you will become a little bit more older until you get to the age of 70, and then it will kind of reset. You have to learn how to block, parry, heavy attack, light attack. You have to put these combos together. You need to make sure that they count because you can't be losing life just like that. It is a very hard game. There are some very cool environments you visit, especially the nightclub, which is one of my favorite scenes as you slowly open the doors and then boom.
the fuck up!
The ending is crazy, but the main thing to know is that you will die and die in this game. There are so many enemies surrounding you. You just have to stay calm and collective, and you will get through it. Number 4. If I don't get much love on this video because of Gotham Knights, then I'm probably not going to get much love for loving Death Stranding Director's Cut. It is a weird game by Kojima, and I do believe it's a game you either hate it or you'll love it. Now you're taking the piss. Death Stranding is a game about death and what happens after you die. You are a delivery guy, hence why the people hate it, and your job is to rebuild America and help connect different areas onto the chiral network. You have to transverse areas, walk a hell of a lot in this post-apocalyptic America, use ladders, control your balance to deliver cargo in the best condition you can. It starts off very, very slow in the first few chapters, but once you get past, I think around chapter 5, chapter 6, it starts really opening up. You get to drive trucks, motorbikes, you will get weapons and guns. So it becomes a lot more exciting as you go along. The story is very confusing. There's a lot of things I had to research on YouTube because I'm like, wait, what? You just have to be careful of the BTs, which are beached things, which if you make a lot of noise will kill you if you do not hold your breath, you do not crouch. It's not for everyone, but if you're weird like me, you might enjoy this game. Number 3. Elden Ring is a contender for Game of the Year and probably the best open world game that has ever been created. You are in full control. There is no right way to play the game and there are endless ways of completing it. I've played over 70 hours of the game and I still haven't completed it. I'm still stuck on this certain boss, but I needed a break from it because I'm just pretty shit.
Back to Elden Ring. I'm already used to the bugs.
The way I have customized my character, incredible. The combat is easy to get used to, such as your block, your parry, your heavy attack, your light attack, along with special attacks that I'm probably underusing. The boss battles are so epic with so much variety and playstyles. There is nothing better than when I've spent literally a couple of hours on one boss and I'm so close and I keep dying. Yes, it can be frustrating, and when you do eventually defeat that boss, it is so rewarding. Well, you know, I don't get anything in real life, but I feel good about myself. If you don't have a lot of time, if you've got kids or anything like that, this might not be a game for you because you have to play a few hours at a time. There's a lot to do. It's not for the casual gamer. Number 2, there was not a lot of promotion for A Plague Tale Innocence. It's only when I saw Requiem promoted, I was like, wow, I need to play this game. If you have never played these games, I don't know what you're doing. You need to play these games. Forget Christmas and buying presents for your grandma. Do it for yourself. Oh... hypocrites. The story is a continuation of Hugo and Amicia who are to flee their hometown after the French acquisition or acquisition? After the French soldiers were after them for a reason they don't really know. Hugo has a sickness, but also a power which you find out later on in the first game. The sibling story is on par with Joel and Ellie's relationship, and even Kratos and Atreus's. Amicia has some very cool new abilities like her crossbow. There is no doubt that this is a beautiful game in A Plague Tale Requiem. Yes, I was disappointed when it was 30 FPS, but again, it didn't take away from anything in the game. Yes, when there was a lot of fires, the frame rates would drop very slightly, and I only saw a few bugs that I had to restart the chapters. But since I played on day one, there's been numerous patches, so I assume those problems have probably gone. I would say that this is a near perfect game. Such an emotional roller coaster, and it's just incredible how they've managed to tell this story in this way. Number 1. It is no surprise that in number 1, it is God of War Ragnarok. I'm currently still playing the game and I'm over 25 hours into the game. The game is simply incredible and I cannot stress that enough. At 60 FPS, the game runs so smooth. The scenery is simply breathtaking and I have honestly wasted so much time just taking in every bit of scenery. The sheer work and efforts from these developers, wow. It is... I just can't. The combat has been revamped from the first with so many more cool abilities to unlock. Much more vertical combat, which takes the excitement levels to another level. There are so many twists in the game which you would not even think so. And the development of these characters from the first game, wow. Especially Kratos. He is a totally different person. The stories from Mimir, even when I've been roaming for ages, they would just come up with new dialogue and I'm like, I've been roaming around here for an hour and you still got something to say? I've nearly completed the game, but let me know if you do want a review on the game because I want to review it, but then at the same time I'm like, will people even bother? So comment below and let me know. Just gives me an excuse to talk about it more. There are so much side content in the game that I deviated from the main story and I was doing something completely different for around 2 to 4 hours. I was like, oh my gosh, wow. I'm not even doing the main story. What do you think of the games I have mentioned? Is there any games I haven't played this year? Make sure you comment below and let me know. Let's take a look at the comment of the day from my previous video. Top 12 PS5 accessories you must buy. Shout out to Dre2XL100. I collect all trophies because I find it to be better constructive use of my time. And as a challenge to myself, I kind of apply the same mentality I use at work where I have to figure out a solution to an incident. Since I've started playing this week, I rarely now play FIFA and COD, which used to be the reason why I played consoles. Also, I feel I get my money's worth by collecting trophies. Now I totally understand why people go for these platinum trophies. I don't have the patience at the moment, but maybe eventually I'll be like, you know what? Let's just go for it and try and get all the trophies. Well, that's enough games for me this year because I've spent my money's worth, so I won't be buying any more. But 1 or 2 this year, max. Whatever.